Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Today's game has Ben winning the die roll and starting us off. He draws and plays a swamp, passing after that. Arch's land for turn is a tapped Godless Shrine, and he ships it. Kuzno just plays an island. Max draws and plays a tapped Mosswort Bridge, and hides away a card. Ben plays a swamp and casts Nezumi Grave Robber, and passes. Arch has got an isolated chapel, and pays 2 for Voice of Victory. Kuzno's land for turn is an island, and he casts Blade of Selves, and passes. Max draws, plays a swamp, and casts a Soul Ring. He then casts Aphelia and passes. Ben's land drop is a Smoldering Marsh, and he then brings out the ultimate Green Goblin. He hits Kuzno with the Nezumi Grave Robber and passes to Arja. Arja's got a Plains, and also brings out his commander with Breena. Going to combat, he swings the Voice of Victory at Max. Breena triggers and puts 2 counters onto the Voice of Victory and draws him a card, and Arja gets to mobilize, putting 2 warriors into play, also attacking Max. Max blocks a warrior, but takes 4 total, and Arja then passes turn. Kuzno's got an island, and he pays 3 for a Pilgrim's Eye, going to find a basic as it comes in. Max plays out a Misty Rainforest, and sacrifices it, going to find a forest. He then sends Aphelia at Arja, and after Arja declares no blocks, Max activates Aphelia, and this has Arja losing half his life. He drops down to a total of 19, and Max then passes turn. Ben's upkeep has him discarding Villas to the ultimate Green Goblin, making a treasure token, and then drawing for turn. He plays a swamp, and casts Bitter Reunion, discarding Razaketh, and draws 2. Ben then continues by exiling Max's Misty Rainforest with his Nezumi Grave Robber, and transforms it into Night Eyes the Desecrator. He then swings the Green Goblin at Kuzno. Ben gets to draw off of the Breena trigger on attack, and Arja adds 2 counters onto Breena from the same trigger, and Kuzno gets nothing from the trigger and instead takes 5. After that, Ben passes. Arja draws, and pays 1 black for a Scheming Symmetry, and targets Kuzno. They both tutor for a card to hand, and moving to combat, Arja swings Breena at Ben, and the Voice of Victory goes at Max, with the tokens coming in attacking Kuzno. Arja gets Breena triggers, pumping both Breena and the Voice of Victory, and draws 2, and everyone then just takes the hits. After that, Arja casts Animate Dead, and steals Ben's Villas, and passes. Kuzno plays an island, and swings his Pilgrim's Eye at Ben. This has Kuzno drawing off of Breena, and Arja gets to add some counters to his creature, and Ben then takes the hit for 1. Kuzno's second main phase then has him casting Public Enemy, targeting Breena, and passes after it resolves. Max draws and plays a Wasteland, and then casts Nature's Will. He swings Aphelia at Arja, and pays to make a Snake token. Arja then takes the hit for 1, and Max untaps his lands. In his second main phase, he casts a Sylvan Library, and passes. Ben's upkeep has him discarding Overseer of the Damned to Green Goblin, making a treasure, and drawing. He plays a Tainted Peak, and then activates Night Eyes, reanimating the Overseer of the Damned to destroy Villas. This has Ben making a zombie token. And going to combat, Ben then swings everything at Arja. In his second main phase, Ben casts a Faithless Looting, drawing 2 and discarding 2. He passes after that. Arja's land for turn is an Exotic Orchard, and he swings Breena at Kuzno, the Voice of Victory at Ben, and the 2 warrior tokens the voice makes at Kuzno as well. Arja puts all of the Breena triggers on herself, and Kuzno and Ben then take the hits. In his second main phase, Arja casts Torment of Hailfire, putting 4 into the X. He passes after his opponents resolve it. Kuzno draws but holds up his mana and just has to pass. Max draws for turn and uses the Sylvan Library, paying 4 life to keep an extra card. He then plays a tap Path of Ancestry, and going to combat, swings Aphelia at Ben. He pays for her on attack trigger to make a snake token. With no blocks declared, Max ninjutsus in Orochi Soul Reaver, and Ben then takes the damage, with Max manifesting his top card. He then gets to untap his lands thanks to Nature's Will, and recasts Aphelia, and passes. Ben discards the ultimate Green Goblin, makes a treasure, and draws. His land for turn is Abishakar Raceway, and he then activates Night Eyes, bringing back a Burning Ruin Demon. This lets Ben tutor for 2 cards, and Arja gets the choice. Arja gives him an Incarnation technique, and he puts Demon Lord Belzenlock to the graveyard. Ben then swings the Overseer of the Damned at Max, and Ultimate Green Goblin at Kuzno. Ben gets to draw off of Breena, and Arja puts more counters onto Breena, and Kuzno and Max then take their hits. With nothing else, Ben passes. Arja's got a Plains and goes straight to combat, swinging Breena at Max, the Voice of Victory at Ben, and the 2 warrior tokens he makes at Kuzno. Arja gets 2 Breena triggers, drawing 2, and putting the counters onto Breena and the Voice, with Max taking the damage, while Ben chumps with the Burning Ruin Demon. After combat, Arja casts Starfield Shepherd, which grabs him a Lightstall Inquisitor. He then casts an Arcane Signet, and follows up the Inquisitor, passing after it resolves. Kuzno draws but misses his land drop again and just has to pass. Max draws the Sylvan Library but doesn't keep any extras, and casts a Bloodletter of Aclazotz before playing a Phyrexian Tower. Max then swings 3 creatures at Arja and the Manifest at Ben. Max draws from Breena, with Arja putting 2 counters onto the Starfield Shepherd. And Arja then chumps the Soul Reaver with his Lightstall Inquisitor, and Ben declares no blocks. Max then sacrifices a snake token to the Phyrexian Tower, and activates Aphelia. And Arja then takes lethal thanks to the Bloodletter doubling the life lost. With the creature connecting, Max gets to untap his lands, and his second main phase has him casting Shamanic Revelations, drawing 4 and gaining some life. He passes after that. Ben discards, making a treasure, draws, and casts Incarnation Technique, and demonstrates on Kuzno. This has Kuzno getting back a Burnished Heart, and Ben then gets a Demon Lord Belzenlock. He takes 5 from the trigger as he comes in, and the second technique then reanimates Raphael, Fiendish Savior. Ben then cracks the Bitter Reunion, giving his team haste, but Kuzno responds to the trigger with a cryptic command, picking the mode to tap down all creatures and draws a card. With his combat step foiled, Ben passes turn. Kuzno draws but misses another land drop and just has to pass. Max draws from his Sylvan Library, plays a Forest, and casts Hexdrinker. He follows it up with Glissa Sunslayer, and then swings Aphelia and the Orochi Soul Reaver at Ben. Ben blocks the Soul Reaver, and Max sacrifices it to the Phyrexian Tower to activate Aphelia. This has Ben taking lethal thanks to the Bloodletter, and Max gets to untap his lands thanks to the Nature's Will. In his post-combat main phase, Max then levels up the Hexdrinker to level 4, and he casts Summon Fenrir. During his end step, Kuzno cracks the Burnished Heart to go and find 2 islands. Kuzno draws, but has to be on the defensive, passing after that. Max has a Loyal Guardian in his main phase, and goes to combat, putting a counter onto his team. He then swings out at Kuzno. This is Kuzno responding before damage by using Aetherize to bounce Max's team. And Max then moves to his second main phase. He recasts Aphelia and Fenrir after combat. He then passes, and during the end step, Kuzno casts Planar Incision on the Pilgrim's Eye. Kuzno draws, plays an island, and swings the Pilgrim's Eye at Max for 2. Before damage, he flashes in an Enduring Curiosity, and Max then takes the hit for 2, with Kuzno drawing a card. He ships it after that. Max's main phase has him casting Binding the Old Gods, but Kuzno responds with an offer you can't refuse, countering it. Max then continues with Bloodletter of Aklazotz, which has Kuzno countering that with a strict Serenade. Max then plays at a Guardian project, and surprisingly it doesn't get countered, and moving to combat, he puts a counter onto his creatures, thanks to the Loyal Guardian. He then swings out at Kuzno, and Kuzno uses Rapid Hybridization to destroy the Loyal Guardian, and then chumps the Hex Drinker, but still takes 6. With a creature from Max connecting, he untaps his lands, and then casts the Llanowar Elves, Naga Vitalist, and then Hapatra, drawing a card off each one of them thanks to the Guardian project. He then plays Bojuka Bog, exiling Kuzno's graveyard. Max then wraps up his turn with a Vizier of the Menagerie, and passes to Kuzno. Kuzno draws, plays an island, but with nothing in hand to stop Max, knows when he's beat and scoops it up. Game review time. So my hot take for this game is that Nature's Will was the best card. It allowed Max basically freedom with when he was casting spells, whether it was first main phase, combat, or second main phase, and he was able to get so much mana out of it. It also allowed him to activate Aphelia's ability to have life totals, which is just great, and it comboed so well with that Bloodletter of Aklazotz. Other than that, another deck I love is the Breena deck, because it incentivizes your opponents to attack by building up and giving them card draw, plus it also builds up Arj's board, which allows him to then swing out and basically help push the game forward. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.